Hi Aries, and welcome to your April 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And you guys are really thriving this month. This is your time of the year. We have come past equinox time now, and I feel like a lot of the trauma cycles which have built up for a long time can now start to dissipate. But you're still sort of facing a little bit here and now. You've got a pretty decent balance of dark and light energy. I sense a lot of benevolence coming your way, a lot of gifts from the universe, while at the same time, like simultaneously as you get those gifts, there's a confrontation that happens of things which have no hold over you anymore. And I do feel like just right off the bat for April, it is a big month of understanding what has control over you and what does not. It feels like there are a lot of preconceived notions in the Aries energy. The Emperor is your central theme, which deals with control dynamics, power complexes, power struggles within your life. It can also signal the paternal energy within you, so you can have confrontations with a father figure or a sort of change of masculine influence in your life. The way that I'm feeling it, though, with also having the moon in your reading as well as Seven of Cups and just a lot of the energy that's coming forward, it feels to me that it deals with things within you, Aries, like sort of control dynamics that you enforce on yourself and how you are categorizing control or power in your life. I feel there is a big shift in this coming in for April, and I think that it's beautiful. I think this is one of the highlights of your solar return this year. By the way, happy birthday to those of you who are aging up in April. Aries is a very powerful sign. It is the ultimate beginning. It is the spark of life. It's sort of the Big Bang type of energy. It is where everything begins. And that's a lot of pressure to have as a person because due to the type of reality we are in right now, we face a lot of endings and a lot of beginnings quite frequently in life. So there's this pressure on Aries people to spark the beginnings of many people's lives. So a lot of Aries come to me and they're like, okay, why have I been struggling so much with codependent cycles in my life? Like, why are my relationships so symbiotic? Isn't that more of a water sign thing? It is, but also people attract an Aries into their life when they need a new beginning, when there's been usually a trauma or a crisis or a very stark ending. You will be magnetized to people after that's happened because your energy signals and catalyzes the new beginning. And with Uranus having been through your sign for a long time now, finishing up in Aries this year, there's been a lot of like very unexpected beginnings and very unexpected endings over about the last decade, honestly, for a lot of you. And that's finishing. And it's kind of this weird paradoxical type of energy where these crazy new beginnings that have happened to you, overwhelming experiences, are ending. And I think for a lot of Aries, it has kind of created this sort of collective insanity or this collective difficulty to cope because it's hard to see so many possibilities that almost happened conclude. But ultimately, this is the best thing because it just all envelops on itself with the new beginning that comes after this. Basically, to simplify that and make that a little bit more understandable, there may be something in April, hopefully maybe even in March, Aries, that you had to let go of or that you had to maybe make an executive choice in your life to no longer pursue. And then in April, it comes like this catalysion type of energy where a new door opens and the new opportunity opens. So did you always want to write the book? Did you always want to be the doctor or have the different career or have maybe more solitude in your life, maybe distance yourself from the relationship? It's a very important time for Aries to be able to do the necessary, like the dental work that's always needed to be done or the health crisis that has gone unaddressed. Like by addressing it here in April, you can do yourself so many favors because I do sense there's kind of a deactivation actually here. So maybe people aren't needing so much from you. And if they are, I feel like that's coming from somewhere else in your chart. Aries is very deactivated. There's sort of this pull to take control back over your own life. So make sure you check your sun, moon, rising sign if you are being like really activated by other people. But the Aries energy in and of itself, very kind of pulled back from the rest of people, sort of Eight of Cups energy, walking away from a lot, spending a lot of time in solitude, understanding the deeper really vision of your life, because it is your solar time. You are reflecting on what you've accomplished and understanding and developing what you need to accomplish. So in that way, it's a really good month to address what's no longer functioning properly. What's wrong with your house? Do you need to move? What's wrong with your health? Do you need to see some kind of specialist? Because ultimately, you're going to need to be more in the spotlight soon, more activated by others. And if these types of things really cause problems, then it can be much more inconvenient, because like you're scheduled to do your book or your release or whatever, and now you're like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I have to have all this dental work and I don't have time to do all of this. So it's a great time to really address the systems which are no longer functioning wonderfully. And then for some of you, if you've already done it, if you've already kind of been paying attention to what needs to change within you and doing that, this is just a wonderful vacation type of energy. Depending on, again, these control structures, because ultimately the nicest thing I think for Aries this month is to find control of themselves, to find, you know, your own power and your own ability to manifest what you need to, maybe organizing yourself better, scheduling yourself better, and making a decision about how you're spending your energy becomes paramount to that Ace of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles together. So how you're taking your gifted energy during your solar return, kind of that deposit that the universe gives you during this time, and then how you're balancing that, how you're spending that. I feel maybe last year this was quite stressful, or energy was spent all up by around June or July, and you had to just kind of go into survival mode for the rest of the year. Do think about what you can do to make things easier on yourself. You do feel much stronger. You do feel much more vibrant, and it feels like you will be able to do more and have more energy this year throughout your entire next solar cycle. But through truly organizing that and finding your outlay to be more calibrated than last year, it's like it really exponentially changes what your output can be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week for you guys. In week number 1, you have 8 of Cups rooted down by the moon. So coming straight into April, understanding what the lies and secrets are, understanding who is not being real with you, who is trying to manipulate you. That's a very manipulative type of construction there. So definitely look at yourself with that too. Have you been manipulative to others? Have you... What I hear is telling people that you're going to stay with them, but actually wanting to go. There's sort of like with the moon and the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups signifies that there needs to be a departure, or that there needs to be a movement away in the opposite direction. And then the moon creates a fogginess around all of this. So I see this a lot when in relationships where somebody really doesn't want to be there anymore, yet they're still treating the relationship or the other person as if it's like true happiness or something, and there are no problems. For those of you who are coupled, do take some time to analyze your partner and see if they're truly happy in their circumstance. Pay close attention to other people's frustrations and other people's discontentments, and really check in with yourself about that, because it feels like a mirror. Also, those 2 cards together to me feel like a very potent emotional mirror, in the sense that if other people aren't happy with their circumstances, there's a need to look within and see like, okay, why are all these people being pulled into my life who are so unhappy with themselves? What within me is so unhappy? Because Aries can be sort of optimistic to a fault sometimes too. Like even if you're in a very dreary type of circumstance, you can really make the most of it, you know, which is a wonderful quality and very much needed sometimes. But when you come into this kind of power and you start to have this kind of abundance in your life, it's important to not spend your energy in a way that you're continuing a cycle which is actually quite tragic, with all the frills and all of the fiery cardinal energy that makes it appear as if it's really healthy and wonderful. In the second week, Aries, you have the Chariot reversed, rooted down by the King of Swords reversed. So there is a lack of movement there. There's a lack of progression that's upsetting you. And you come from that first week with this like really strong forward movement. 8 of Cups is very transitional, very progression-oriented energy, and then all of a sudden the Chariot reversed comes in and halts the progress, which is a blessing, actually. So try to not get too, again, frustrated by this. There is something that has to stop and be completely still sometime in April for Aries, because you can get a bit reckless. Like, I feel like a reckless progression forward can be a bit of a problem, because you're probably going to wake up, like, right at the end of March, actually, right at equinox time and realize, oh my God, something is not right. This is not good. And there can be like this tendency to suddenly freak out, pack all your bags, and try to like zoom off, where it feels like there has to be something put into order before you do it. Like where you're going, like your point A, which might feel very stressful right now. If it's too recklessly assembled, point B can become a more stressful situation. So make sure you're developing your point B to be something that is much healthier, even if you have to spend a little bit of extra time doing that. With King of Swords reversed coming up, there's sort of, again, a fogginess, and that comes from the moon energy. You're just not sure about people's intentions. You're not sure what people's logic behind these situations are. It feels like there are communicative issues. We are in Mercury retrograde during this month, and that's honestly what the second week is feeling like to me, is a very strong emphasis of Mercury retrograde. So how we can prevent that, how you can come into that second week without having a very frustrating experience. Try to not move too quickly. Try to not be driving on tires which are like 30,000 miles out of date or something. Try to not involve yourself in situations which do not have strong foundations, because that's what Mercury retrograde serves purpose as. It breaks down what is weak. And sometimes that's inconvenient timing, but it's usually less inconvenient than it could be, because you are needing quite a lot to have that stillness at some point in time in this month. So if you guys could go on a vacation or get somewhere where you don't have to move around a lot, that would be optimum for this month. You've been so busy. You've been so progression oriented over the last year, honestly, that just a bit of stillness, if it feels right, does you guys so much good here. In the third week, 5 of Pentacles rooted down by Ace of Pentacles. I absolutely love that for you guys. Financial upset, financial strain is solved in this week. So this can be the bonus, the promotion, the new job sort of falling in your lap, the business taking off, because there's something, it's almost like a rags to riches type of energy there. And it's really important to see, Aries, how you are sort of walking barefoot through the snow in some way. Where your advantages lie is very important, because with 5 of Pentacles, I don't get it that often. I think a few other signs actually did get it this month, though. To me, it is such a strong wake-up call that this doesn't have to be this hard. You know, you're walking in the snow on this path, and right to your left there is like the warm church windows, and you're choosing for some reason to not embrace that very easy and simple advantage, because there's like a pride. To me, there's a pride and also a discouragement in the 5 of Pentacles, a discouraged pride energy, where 1, you don't think that the church will be warm enough, and 2, you're like not quite in agreement with that, and you don't believe in faith, so you don't really feel that it's warm, even if it is. There has to be a realization of what you're denying yourself. What do you need to prove to yourself by going through this? And sometimes this is needed. Sometimes I actually love 5 of Pentacles energy. Sometimes you have to go for a 2-mile run through the lightning storm just to sort of come face to face with God and yourself and think, okay, are you going to take me out right now with a lightning strike, or am I going to get through this? There's like a, please don't go running through lightning storms, but there's some kind of ancient martial art or something that's sort of like a, it's like a test. I can't remember what it's called. I wish I could remember this for you guys, because you are very good with sports and athletics, which, by the way, that might be a good thing to start taking up in April, like a new martial art or some kind of athletics, something competitive, or something where you're proving your own limits to yourself. Anyway, you're just having to prove something to yourself in the third week, and you pass the test, it feels like, but don't take that for granted. There is something that you have to do, like a sort of a proverbial, keyword proverbial, run through the lightning storm to prove to yourself that you can survive it type of thing. And through getting back and doing that for yourself, you're rewarded, and you sort of get out of this chaotic situation. Fourth week, 7 of Cups, shooted down by 2 of Pentacles. This gift and reward comes with decisions and comes with crossroads. That's what that usually means. And try to healthily turn the opposite direction from 7 of Cups. You have the 7 and the 8 in your reading, so there's a bit of a regression there relating to what you're walking away from. So as you can see in the progression of 7 to 8 of Cups, in 7 of Cups, there's this buildup of what this could be, of what this relationship or this career or this experience of life could be, and it's hyped up and created into something that it is not with sort of the archetype of the moon, and it sort of generates a situation where you just have to walk away from it in Eight of Cups. That's the progression there. So you are being confronted with that again at the end of the month, and you have the decision though to walk away from that or to go back into Seven of Cups. And the whole thing with Seven of Cups is you lose a bit of sight of your identity. You see the figure who's looking at the cups, which have been built up and given lots of color, lots of definition, lots of vibrance. The self has gone into shadow though, and awareness of the identity has departed. And that's where the problem comes in. It's not so much what you're building up, whether that be your relationship or your business. It's not so much the dream that you have there of that being more vibrant and more grandiose. It's the loss of vision of self that creates the inevitable departure. So really see that and see like how, okay, this path leads me into that lack of self clarity, and this path takes me in a new direction where I'm facing these cycles at least. With the Emperor as your central theme, it's important and pivotal for you to find your control spectrums as a person. Beware of debts, beware of too much to handle or taking on so much that you're not left with much spare income or spare options. It's really more about options, because that is a possibility for this month. I feel like a lot of long-term payment plans, whether it be like with money or energy or relationships, can be taken on. So really step into that place of your own strategizer. You may have to spend a little bit on your business or on your outlay one way or another, but really try to get into those digits and really try to get into the debris of the relationships and the grandiose, foggy experiences which have lack of definition. Really try to define those and write them out for yourself and be the emperor of your own life. I don't feel this to be a negative implementation of emperor energy, because you are kind of an emperor sign, Aries. The emperor is definitely a Mars type of energy. You are ruled by Mars. So it's really about reclaiming your throne, reclaiming your power, and coming back into contact with what you've lost in and of yourself, not relating to anyone else. Find that solitude, find that stillness this month, and make the decisions you need to make. Find your advantages, and this solar return will see you so powerful and so solid. Anyway, if you guys would like to subscribe to my channel, you can click the center of your screen right now. I've so enjoyed to be here with you. Be sure to check out my Patreon page as well. That link should be on the right, and you can see my readings early and ad-free, as well as a new tier that I'm offering where you can get monthly email services. Anyway, much love. Talk soon. Bye.